Hi, and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be working on providing more electricity connectivity options, i.e. sockets, for the upcoming upgrade of the shell. As you can see, there is currently 4 printers, but we've already got more printers and we obviously need more space, but that's obviously just rearranging the shells, but most notably we need more sockets. This office is quite old, and I do not believe that there was any plans to have this exact room or any other room within this multi-office building to utilize quite a few electrical outlets. As such, there are 2 sockets just there, and there are 2 sockets just on that side, meaning 4 total sockets. And we do have quite a bit of machinery in here, which means we are running out of socket space quite rapidly, and in order to provide more machinery for the production, we need to install an extension, if you will. So here is my take on how to increase the capacity of the sockets so you can avoid the situation where you need to daisy chain the extension leads into more extension leads, into more extension leads, and so on. Currently we're using a Overkill extension, which is this box right here, if you try to look behind all of the cables. So this box, it has a large gauge wire, 2.5 mil square coming in, which is capable of quite a bit of a load handling, and it separates, besides the main switch and the panel that I can see the usage on, it separates into 3 separate circuit breakers, and each of the circuit breakers is obviously just an extension of an existing socket multiplier. So in this case today I need to replace the last one, I do believe. They were initially all 3 each sockets, then they were 6 each sockets, and now I'm replacing this one for a 10 gang, I think it's properly called 10 gang extension wire. So proceed with me, and hopefully this will be one of the last updates I need to do while we're still in this office. As with anything that can cause any harm, safety comes first, so the whole chain of these things has to be de-electrified. In my case, it's as simple as that. Now we can proceed working on the extensions. I had a slightly different purpose in mind for this exact extension. So you can see I've upgraded the wire, which will now have to come off. I really love the sockets that you can take apart, because obviously then I can edit them to my liking pretty much. So, but just as a disclaimer, unless you actually know what you're doing, do not mess with electricity. It will, it not just can, it will kill you. So either hire a professional to do it for you, or obviously take some electricity classes, I guess, if that's a thing. College maybe. Oh yeah, anyway, that is now currently going to a side, and we are left with these type of things. Now I will definitely need things longer than this, which means cutting more cable. Now I'm not sure how useful this information will be to yourself, but the wires will come in 3 colors, as you might know, most often than not, with the grounding wire being the nicest one, and then you've got your live wire and the neutral wire. But obviously do not take my word for it, and always use caution if you're deciding to do it yourself. But I strongly advise against that, because unless you really know what you're doing, you can get into trouble. Obviously nobody wants that, especially if you're doing the way I'm doing it. You can end up with splits in your cable, which is never good, which means I have to redo the whole thing the proper way now. So we get roughly maybe that much cable. Let's see where the split was. That is now rubbish, and we need roughly that much space. Right, so with them there are two types of wires. Yet again, you've got your multi-stranded, multi-core, maybe they're called, I don't know. What's the proper English name for them? But obviously the working with cables like that will be quite problematic. They are quite flexible, but obviously they do not hold their shape very well, especially when we have to screw them into places. Now, one way of doing it, obviously twisting them won't do much, but this is just for me, my piece of use. And unless you would have any other options, they would have to be soldered. Might be overkill for some, but I prefer not to mess with the things that can kill you. And the safer the things are that can kill you, the safer you are. So again, do not work on things you don't fully understand. But in my case, I've got these type of ends, caps. Anyway, they go onto the wires, and you get your pliers. Well, I mean, there is a tool that is meant to be doing just the crimping of these things, but pliers will work just fine. This will allow a nice connection to the terminals, and will also be long lasting. Obviously they are single use things, and each time you have to change your setup, you will have to use them once again, the new ones. So that's the preparation all done. Now we go and connect it to the box itself. Time to work on this one, and I do believe I'm after this cable, which is in this case the middle one. So the middle cable, let's have a look. So again, make sure everything's disconnected, because you don't want to get stuck. Anyway, electrified, that's the word. So right, let's have a look. The middle one, let's start with the easy bit. So that can come off. The grounding wire is, I'd really like this to be in an easier to work spot, but that's what we get anyway. So this wire right here, it's this one as far as I can tell, which it is. Lovely. And the last wire will be the grounding wire. I do believe it is this one. So with that done, hypothetically we should be able to pull everything out of here. So there we go. That's the old extension gone. Now we need all we've got left to do is to get the new one in. So the rubber comes, no, the rubber doesn't come first. Here go the cables, inside they go, and the rubber on top. Okay, now this whole thing goes inside. Right, so that's all good and connected. Now we can squeeze it all back together. And in theory, this should be me all done. Let's try it out. Now look, it's working. And so far, nothing has blown up. And the box is shining as should. So, that will conclude the electricity extension, at least hopefully for now, within the office. But obviously more things have to be rearranged once the new printers will be delivered. As far as the stacking goes, not with just the printers but even with the cameos and people who are having issues with space. I mean, one of these shelves is like 30 quid or something, so you just buy two of them and stack them however high you want, so you get an array of cameos or array of printers, array of anything. And obviously the more shelves you've got, the sturdier the whole thing will become and the more things it will obviously hold. The only thing you will have to sort out is obviously the connectivity, because there is not too many options to connect 10 socket at once. And obviously I'm not suggesting anyone to go my route. This is just the way I chose to do it, which is compliant with quite a few things. And this the whole thing has multiple safety features built in. And that being said, again, do not mess with electricity if you do not know what you're doing. But the person who was working for us has been offered her old job back, and now we are one man down, obviously. But hopefully that will not go for long, because the load is still there and we still have to cope with it. But we'll figure something out shortly. So that will conclude this Sunday in the office, and I'll go back doing more things. And obviously thank you for watching, and I'll see you next episode.